Now, live. This is the Serpentini Chevrolet Sports Report on 19 Action News.
Richie Incognito's days in the NFL are over. There is no way another team signs him after reading this 144-page report. Ted Wells, the NFL's independent investigator, finding that Incognito was the ringleader of a small group of bullies on the Dolphins. And that group, including fellow offensive lineman Mike Pouncey and John Jerry, subjected Jonathan Martin to a daily barrage of attacks, from racial slurs to sexual taunts about his mother and sister. The report also found abuse of another player that included inappropriate touching and homophobic slurs, and an assistant trainer with the Dolphins who is Japanese and was also the victim of racial slurs. But the three bullies saved their best for Martin. Check out this text message exchange between Incognito and Pouncey after Martin left the team last October and finally went public. They go back and forth, and you see Incognito F. J. Mart. That F, and that's a gay slur, is never back. Pouncey says, bro, I said the same thing. I can't even look at him the same. He's a P word. Incognito snitches, get stitches, blood in, blood out, effing guy. Pouncey, he's dead to me. Check out, I'm laughing because Pouncey's trying to sound like Tony Soprano. Pouncey's the same guy who wore the Free Hernandez hat last season in support of his former Florida Gator teammate and, oh yeah, accused murderer Aaron Hernandez. Good guy. It's impossible to ignore the irony that this report came out the same week that Michael Sam came out. This is why so many are concerned about how he'll be treated in an NFL locker room. Most players who weighed in were overwhelmingly supportive, but some front office people, off the record of course, said they would steer clear of Sam. In other words, they're afraid of the Richie Incognitos in their room, which is absurd. There are very few Richie Incognitos in the NFL, thank goodness, and as of tonight, one fewer than there used to be. For much more of my take on this, check out my blog, The Z-Files, on 19actionnews.com. The CSU Vikings took care of business last night. Trey Lewis leading the way as they blew by Illinois Chicago. Now Green Bay coming to town tomorrow afternoon. First place on the line. Who is going to step up next?
That's our MO. I mean, we got 6 or 7 guys that can all score. So if one guy's not doing it, the other one is not hesitant to come up and try it.
You literally could pick up any page in this report and be blown away by how graphic
some of those things are unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. You really should read it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not like an accident or he misspoke once.
No,
that's
stuff.
in his heart.
Stuff, yeah.
We'll be right back. Yeah, so does this Browns victory mean Brian Hoyer should take over? Tony Zarrella is joining us live from Berea with team reaction tonight. Tony?
Well, Dee, this is one of those worst-kept secret situations. Coach Chud not ready to tell us tonight that Brian Hoyer will be back at quarterback on Sunday. He says he wants to get to midweek and get new information on Brandon Whedon's thumb. I would be absolutely stunned if Hoyer is not back at quarterback against the Bengals. His performance yesterday, certainly not perfect, but it was dynamic. The St. Ignatius grad made quick, smart decisions early on, great throws, and while, yes, he did have the 3 picks, he got it together in time to do in his first Browns start what Whedon has yet to do in 17 starts. And that's lead him to a fourth-quarter rally and a win. There was a lot to like about Hoyer's performance.
I thought it was a gutsy performance. He had some turnovers in the second half, a couple of throws I know he would like to have back, but that didn't faze him. And when we needed to rise up to the occasion on the last drive, he was able to do that and make the plays.
So what grade would you give Brian Hoyer? I'll tell you what grade I'd give him in 10 minutes. My Week 3 report card. You're going to like it. Coming up, live at Browns headquarters, I'm Tony Zarrella, 19 Action News. Browns, time for the Week 16 report card. The players, not the only ones failing to make the grade. Einstein defined insanity as doing something over and over again and expecting different results. Well, I'm no genius, but I'm smart enough to stop throwing to Greg Little. I'll say it again. These drops change, if not lose, games. Time to cut the cord, but not before throwing him an F. Let's stick with the passing game. Jason Campbell was missing our guys early and hitting their guys late. 18 of 40, 178 yards, 2 picks, and a rating of 37. Those numbers will not keep you in the conversation for 2014, but they will earn you an F. Edwin Baker, the touchdown maker. The guy's been here 2 weeks and he's tied for most rushing touchdowns. I'm not sure if that says more about his ability or the front office's lack of ability, but how was there not a better, earlier plan at running back? Baker had a second touchdown called back. I'm going to give him a B.
And the Oscar goes to
Geno Smith for his dramatic portrayal of a frustrated, desperate man and falling down. but the Browns' defense was his supporting cast. Smith came in with 21 picks, and the Browns not only failed to intercept a pass, they didn't sack him once. They also imploded with yet another 2-minute drill, giving up 10 points in the final 2 minutes of the first half. I'm giving the defense a D. Back to the powers that be. 4 months ago, they cut David Nelson. Yesterday, he burned him for 2 touchdowns. Josh Cooper, he catches everything in sight, yet all season couldn't get on the field. Instead, we've watched him stick with Greg Little, go back to Brandon Whedon, and take 14 games to find a running back. This is how seasons are lost. This is what earns an F. Joe, as we sit here today, the Cleveland Browns have the best record within the division. You head into the bye week with some momentum, and coming off that win where I believe, seriously, I've covered this team for 7 years, is probably the biggest regular season win that I've seen.
There's not enough I can say about my guys, man. I mean, everybody stepped up. That was the first time, though, honestly, that we played all 4 quarters, offense and defense. And it just was, when it was time to make plays, people made plays. And it just felt so good to see our offense out there moving the ball at the end of the game, just marching it down, melting down the clock. Jason Campbell did a great job. Greg Little stepped up best. Everybody was always gave him down. I was like, listen, all you got to do is just leave him alone. He's a pro. He knows he had a bad game, and he's going to come back and do what he had to do. And I was just proud of everybody out there.
How about that move on Ladarius Webb?
Yes, I was waiting on that to happen because he does that to practice on us. So I knew he had it in him. I was like, just wait.
That's a PlayStation move.
Oh, for sure. Joystick.
And you talk about making plays. You come up with the pick, and I joked with you after the game saying Gibson wants half a pick. He wants half a stat for that. Yeah. But that just says a lot about this defense, too, that when collectively you guys are working together and making things happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's everybody. Everybody's just doing their job, man. Everybody's doing their job. And it's just finally everybody. I think everybody believes that we can do it now. Everybody believes in ourselves. Coaches believe in us. And it's now we're starting to get confident, and that's the thing. When you know we're planning for every week, just getting ready for each game plan. But just people are getting confident in their abilities. Offense is confident they can move the ball. Defense is confident we can stop the run, we can stop the pass, and just everybody playing within themselves. We're not doing anything special. It's just everybody's doing what they have to do.
Joe, when you're going through a season, I mean, how much do the interceptions matter? I understand that the wins are more important, and shutting down a Torrey Smith is the bottom line. But is there a part of you that feels like you got to hit a certain number?
With me, interceptions are amazing. I mean, I love them. I would never say I wouldn't want to have more picks, but that's definitely something that I had to look at. And with our coaching staff, they're like, Joe, they're going to come. Just do what you're doing. You're playing a great job. And I just can't try to do anything extra outside of it. When the opportunity presents itself, catch the ball. Basically, I feel like I dropped like 4 or 5 so far this year that I could have I have my hands on, that I could intercept it. So if I just do what I'm doing, do my job, and then when the opportunity presents itself, just make that play. And I think I'll be good.
Speaking of Torrey Smith, I log every play of the game as we're sitting there. And he had 5 catches. I don't know when he got them because I don't think I wrote his name down until the 3rd quarter.
Yeah. I mean, he's a really good player, but the thing was they a lot of zones, crossing routes, he just has those catches. And, it just sometimes when you're playing the defense, it's zone coverages. You don't always, when they say following the player, you follow them, but it's not man-to-man every defense. It's a lot of zones, a lot of passing offs, a lot of stuff like that. So, I mean, when the receivers are getting held down, I mean, that's a lot of help from a lot of the players, a lot of people on the team.
What defines a shutdown corner, in your opinion?
I think someone that can go up against number ones, line up against number ones, and when you're in those man-to-man coverages, being able to make those big plays on 3rd downs, preventing them from getting up top on you, preventing them from the deep balls, not letting them get up, having their normal averages, 90 yards, nothing like that, no touchdowns, just being able to control the best wide receiver on the opposing team.
Michael Irvin spoke to the Browns this week.
Yeah.
How would you have done against him?
Man, I don't know. I would have did pretty good though. I think I would have did good. He's Hall of Fame receiver. I can't say enough about him. A really, really good guy. But I like myself. I like my ability.
When a guy like that comes back and talks, he's been through a lot, obviously, on and off the field. When he speaks, does it matter to young guys? Do they appreciate Michael Irvin even though he's 10 years removed?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of the game, if you love the game, and you have somebody like Michael Irvin come in talking to you that's somewhere where you want to be,